what's up guys? So I'm gonna run you through an entire build for the snowmaker that I'm currently using. Also after the video, I'm gonna list all the parts that you can actually order every single one from Amazon and build your own snow gun. So don't get overwhelmed. There's a lot of parts, but the list will be there. So you'll see exactly how it's built. But I'm gonna kind of put everything together for you, just mock the build. Also, this build will work specifically for about 2.5 gallons per minute pressure washer and a 5 to 6 CFM air compressor. So we're gonna start off with a pressure gauge at the gun itself. Why I like to use this is important because of the conditions will be based off of your pressure, but an average pressure I like to run between 600 and 800 in decent conditions. So the higher pressure you'll be using higher pressure in marginal conditions, meaning like higher temperatures, higher humidity, where when you're really cold temperatures, like single digits, very low humidity, you can run 400 to 500 PSI. The reason why is because if you're running a very high pressure at very cold temperatures, a lot of that moisture and snow that in particles that reach to the air will actually evaporate before they hit the ground. So that's why pressure is important. I learned that a little bit later on as I got into like building the snow guns. So I was wondering, and I noticed that at a colder temperature, and I didn't have a pressure gauge that wasn't making as much snow. And I was thinking, well, I should be making more snow because it's colder out, but that wasn't the case because a lot of it was evaporating before it hit the ground. But if you don't have that option of changing your pressure, you can always angle the gun lower to the ground and not allow as much hang time for the snow to fall so it doesn't evaporate. But that's a whole other video. But you have your pressure gauge, you got your aluminum manifold. We got all of our reducer pieces. These are from 1/4 inch to 3/8. These are our bulk nozzles. And then a couple more adapters, 3/8 to 3/8. We have our needle valve here. I like the needle valves over like a ball valve because you can adjust the amount of water going to the nucleation nozzle much more precise than a ball valve or just a regular turn valve. We have a T, and then we also have our connectors, which is our quick connect, air compressor connect, and our quick connect for the pressure washer. I love using quick connectors so you don't have to screw anything on, you don't have to keep retaping things. It just makes the process a lot easier, hooking up, getting your machine running, but also turning the machine off, cleaning your lines, all that kind of stuff. So there's quite a process to it, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty fun, pretty quick, especially once you have all the proper equipment. So I'm just going to mock build this real quick for you. I like using the aluminum manifold 3-way because it allows for multiple nozzles, so it leaves you more availability when you change equipment, or if you get a pressure washer that handles more gallons per minute, then you need larger nozzles to handle that, to keep your pressure within a certain gradient. But remember, what I like to do is tape all my threads and use like the blue pipe dope as well. I like to use both so I know for sure it's solid. But I'm just going to build it for you real quick and give you an idea of what it's going to look like. So obviously once you have everything taped, you're going to screw all your pieces together depending on how you want your angle, your gauge to sit, or facing you, whatever angle, that's up to you. But I kind of like to work my way down. So once I have my pressure gauge on, I'm going to screw in all my nozzles. Like, as I mentioned, this is just a mock build. I have to retape everything. Okay, one thing I will say with your nozzles is that they're going to be numbers on them. You want to make sure that the numbers, you can read them looking at them directly. As you can see, you can't see the numbers, but straight, because you have like the nozzles and it fans out. So you want to make sure all three are perfectly straight, so your fan sprays perfect. It doesn't fan on an angle. With these, you have to use a lot of reducers. So this would be your 1/4 inch to your 3/8, and then we have another 3/8 connector, and then on the back side of the manifold, we have another reducer from 1/4 inch to 3/8. And then I use a 4-inch stem because it allows me to clamp it onto different things like a tripod. So that just makes things easier, but this isn't necessary. But I like using the 4-inch extension, and then we're gonna add our pressure washer quick connect. And then after our reducers, we're going to connect our needle valve. Just get this on here just to hold. When I screw on my needle valves, I like the needle valve to come off on the side so it doesn't interfere with your air lines or your pressure washer lines. And then I'm going to add another 3/8 reducer extension to here. And then I'm going to add my T. Also, all these parts outside of the manifold are stainless. And then on the back side, same side as your pressure washer extension, you're going to add your male quick connect. And then I'm going to flip this around. We're going to add our reducer from 3/8 to 1/4 inch. And then we're going to add our nucleation nozzle. This is where all the magic happens. So once this is all lined up, remember, same thing, make sure that everything is straight so your fan fans out nice and horizontal. And then once all that's set up, what I always like to do, which in the next video, I'll actually hook everything up for you, and you want to make sure that you don't have any leaks. So kind of what is going to happen here when your pressure washer line is hooked into here. These are called your bulk nozzles. This is where the bulk of your water is going to be coming out. And then you have your needle valve here. And what that's going to do, you're going to slightly release this needle valve after you connect your pressure, your air compressor hose. So this is where you're getting your air compressor air to blow out. And what you're going to do is you're going to release this valve very, very late, like almost like an 1/8 inch to a 1/4 inch turn. And that's going to allow a little bit of water from the bulk nozzles to enter the highly compressed air. And what that's going to do, that's going to super cool that little, and you're only looking for a mist to come out of here. And what that mist does in the compressed air, it cools this mist and these droplets. And as they come out of here, they're frozen. So what happens is, as the gun is shooting out the water out of the bulks, and you have your mist coming out of this nucleation nozzle, what happens is these frozen particles actually grab the bulk water shooting out of the top 3 bulk nozzles, and that creates the snow. So these are frozen. So picture it almost like a glue. You know, these particles are gluing to the bulk water droplets, and as they connect, these are frozen. Once these attach to these, they freeze. So that's pretty much the very simple way to understand it. So when we have marginal temperatures, meaning like we're borderline temperature where you're just be able to make snow, or it's the quality of snow is I can't think of the word, iffy. You know, it's where you may be making slush. So you don't want to be trying to make snow with very marginal temperatures. You want good temperatures, and I can show you the temperature chart. I'll do that later as well. But the grand scheme of things, you want to have more airtime, because the more airtime that them droplets hang, the better they have the opportunity to freeze and fall as a better quality snow. But that is the most important part. But this is your gun, and when this pressure washer shoots the water into the bulks, your pressure gauge is going to go up. And I like to usually sit anywhere between 600 and 800 on just your normal decent temperatures. I'd say anything between like 18 to 20, 24, 25 degrees. That's what I found like the sweet spot for that range, without having to make any adjustments. But I will put a link to all of these parts in the description below. It's obviously, if you buy through here, it will help me out so I can do new builds and bring you guys better content and cool snow making videos. So guys, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.